So this would be dangerous right here, Ryan. But I was thinking maybe what we should do, kind of like how they do title pie or blame pie. Should we do a Caitlin Clark resentment pie of trying to come up with our own percentages for what has led to this overall internal resentment of Clark? Are you prepared to do that? Do we have to worry about your job if you get specific with it?
No, I don't think we have to worry about it because it's our opinion and we're on a paywall. And I don't know. I don't know how many people are listening at this point, but
we're talking about other people. No, I mean, we're on a paywall. I mean, I could break this out on YouTube and actually have a little pie to signal to people how we're dividing this, because I was in a group chat where people were vigorously arguing about this and saying it has nothing to do with race. It would be the same if she was a black player. Instead, it is women resenting each other. That's what they said. That's not what I said. That's what they said in the group chat. I said it was about race. No, I don't. Well, look, we'll do the pie. We'll see. We'll see. And we don't have to make it about women resenting each other.
I'm going to go that the biggest slice of the pie is how much attention she's getting as somebody who is just entering the league and hasn't, won a title, won an MVP, flown commercial and made $70,000 a year. She hasn't paid those dues. She came in and got a $28 million Nike contract, which was probably, that was the biggest, she probably was underpaid on that deal, but it's still, imagine you're Asia Wilson, defending champion, and she gets this shoe deal before you do. I'd be pissed too. So I'd say that's the biggest. I'm going to go, so that was 40%. I'm going to go 25% white and then split the remaining 35% equally. And they're somewhat correlated between being straight and not an activist. So 40% just raw jealousy over attention and wealth, 25% race, and then the remaining 35% split between sexuality and non-activism.
That's a pretty good pie breakdown right there. I don't know if I could do better than that. And I'm wondering whether to blend the rookie status with the too much too soon attention. I mean, it makes it a little bit easier if I do that. I would have to give that about 60% all combined. Then I think the racial aspect, I would have to give 20%. I will give 10% to being straight, and then my remaining 10% is the lack of activism. I am no math major. I hope that all adds up together.
You got it. That added to 100.
Thank God I canceled myself with appropriate math. That's all I wanted to pull off right there. But Anthony Mays makes a good point here, which is how much of the attention pie is because she's white, the pie within the pie. I would say it's almost like what we're talking about is a pumpkin pie. It's just blended together. Or from certain perspectives, considering the race involved, a pumpkin spice pie. But however you want to put it, it is very blended. It's a pie
of Venn diagrams.
Yes, a pie of Venn diagrams. And sometimes one aspect combines with the other aspect to make this chemical reaction and make an explosion occur. And it's interesting to see how people are reacting to it and what they think it's about. And then there's this other aspect where the conservative leaning media in sports is very protective of Clark, because Clark is this white girl who is getting bullied by these black players. And so suddenly you would think you would go to Outkick or one of these outlets and they couldn't care about women's basketball. I mean, for a time, I don't know when they started caring about it. And now suddenly they're really into it, but from this very particular pro Caitlin Clark perspective. So simultaneously, there's this dismissal of women's sports, not liking women's sports, and leave Caitlin alone. She is so great happening. It is so funny, Ryan. It's just so funny. All of this is so funny.
It is. It is very funny when you step away because people are so emotional about it on social media to the point where I can't tell if they're performing or they like are seriously getting this mad at Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee. And then, there were also other people have like hung their hat on this envy angle. Like I saw Emmanuel Acho did it. Shannon Sharp talked about that. So there's like a little bit of like a vibe shift where you would have thought people who would have been on the same side are now on different sides of this like debate or whatever. And it is very funny. I don't know.
Well, there were a couple players. I'm trying to remember if Matt Barnes was one of them who was saying that the Indiana Fever need an enforcer, to knock one of these girls on their ass.
Draymond Green said it, and Ryan Glasspiegel said it. Ryan Glasspiegel said they need a Bill NBR. I'm going to state. I discovered that take. I had that one first on Twitter.
Yeah, they need a Lucille Lambier. They need, again, the gender dynamics being different. Maybe that is what's required, but it is funny to talk about, and it is funny to suggest.
They need to go out and sign one. I mean, could Liz Cambage do that? Did I mess up her name? But like.
Oh my God! To add her to the mix, I forgot about how controversial she was.
She's been. Someone told me on Twitter, Ben Miller, who's a good follow of both of ours. He was like, if someone defended Caitlin Clark, they'd be ostracized in the league. So that's why you have to get someone who's already been ostracized. And you're like, okay, I am back, and I am here to make sure none of you women mess with Caitlin Clark.
I mean, Liz, back in the day, for those who do not know, was just this bundle of controversy constantly, and people were the woke, for lack of a better term, were very protective of her. But then I suppose she said racist things to the Nigerian national team. I hope I'm correct in that recapitulation. Something happened where then she was on the outs and she has been excommunicated. But if she could really make her return as an enforcer to protect Caitlin Clark, that would be like in Game of Thrones, where characters completely switch sides, switch teams. You see them in a new light. That would be a fascinating turn right there. I can only hope, and I hope that we can continue to enjoy all the drama of this WNBA season as we suffer being scolded for it